Hello everyone. Now we are going to discuss a very important topic of your subject engineering graphics, that is known as dimensioning. Now in this we are going to study what is dimensioning, why it is required, what are the different rules we have to follow while doing dimensioning. The very first important question is, what is dimensioning? Dimensioning is actually the process in which we give size detail of any object in the form of numeral values. It is very important for the manufacturing purpose. These are the very important aspects of dimensioning. First, we take the standard units, that are mm. Units of angles are shown in degree, and we use appropriate symbols wherever it is required. Now the next very important question is, why dimensioning is required? First, it is required for complete clarity and description, then for accuracy, proper assembly of parts, and error-free production. I am giving you one example. Now all these are the parts of a laptop. Now whenever we design a new laptop, we have to give exact dimensions so that when we manufacture all these parts and we can assemble them without any problem. If the parts are not having accurate dimensions, accurate size, then we are unable to assemble them. Now what are the various elements of dimensioning? Elements means when we do dimensioning, there are few terms which we use, and this is the very important topic. Now look here, all these are the elements of dimensioning, like it is having extension line, dimension line, arrowhead, nodes, leader line and all. I will explain this one by one. The main object which we have drawn, it should be drawn with the help of object line. Object line must be thick in type. Now the second element is extension line. Let's say we want to give dimension from this end to this end, so we use two perpendicular lines at a gap of 1 mm and very thin lines. These are known as extension lines. And the purpose of extension line is just, it is telling you from which point to which point we are going to give dimension. So it is setting the limit of dimensions. Now the third element is dimension line. We require a dimension line just to represent what is the length of object for which we are doing the dimensioning. Dimension line should be a thin line and it must be at a gap of 10 mm from the object line. It must be parallel to the object line and at a gap of 10 mm. Now the next element is arrowheads. We draw arrowheads at the corner of dimension line and its tip should be on the extension line. The arrowhead should be a closed arrowhead and it should have a ratio of 3:1. Now I will discuss the arrowhead again in the coming slide. Now the next element is dimension value, dimension figure, or in few softwares we represent as dimension text. So the numeral value which we write as the value of dimension, that is known as dimension value, figure or text. We have to write these values following a system, either aligned or unidirectional. I'll discuss that in the coming slide. Now the next element is leader line. Leader line means when we bend a dimension line and it is being used for the dimensioning of circles and arcs or for nomenclature. Like here I am giving the name to this particular line, here I have given name to this particular line. So this type of line which I have used to give the name to a particular object, this is known as leader line. I will discuss it in the coming slide again. Arrowheads. Arrowheads must be closed and 3:1. Now first of all we will see what is the meaning of closed. Have you ever seen this type of arrowhead? This is the open arrowhead. Now where we use this open arrowhead? We use this in nomenclature, we use this in giving directions, we use this in writing the reactions, and we also use this in making the graphs. Now why we use this type of arrowhead in graphs? Because we can extend it over there, so that is why we need the open arrowhead. Means it can be extended up to the required length. Now this type of closed and filled arrowhead is to be used in dimensioning, and it must have a ratio of 3:1. Now what is that? Now it should have 3 units of length and 1 unit of width. Half of the width will be above the dimension line, half of the width will be below the dimension line. So it is very important to make a very thin arrowhead, more in length and less in width. Now these are the few examples of correct and incorrect arrowhead. In the first, this is the correct way of doing dimensioning. In the second, what is the mistake here? The lower part of this arrowhead is not present, so this is wrong. And then next one is open arrowhead, that is why it is incorrect. And next one is not having its corner on the extension line. And in the next one, the arrowhead has crossed the extension line, so that is why it is incorrect. Now the second thing is leader line. I have told you that when we bend a dimension line, now this dimension line we use for dimensioning of arrows. I will discuss the topic dimensioning of arrows. Over there it will be more clear what is leader line. So the next very important thing is that systems of dimensioning. Now there are two systems of dimensioning. First is aligned system, second is unidirectional system. In aligned system we write the dimension value which is readable from downward direction or from right hand side direction. Second, we have to write the dimension value always above the dimension line. But in unidirectional, if I say uni means single. So in this we use only downward direction to read and write the dimension value, and we write the dimension value in between the dimension lines. It will be more clear with this diagram. I have drawn these two diagrams and you can very easily differentiate in these two, starting from every dimension. Like here 50, I have written 50 above the dimension line and readable from downward. But in the unidirectional, it is readable from downward, but it is written in between the dimension line. Now if you say here in the case of 15, we are unable to write from downward, because if we write from downward we will not say which one is above or below, because we have to follow both the properties, readable from downward or right side and above the dimension line. So that is why we prefer here the right hand side direction, and then we say it is above the dimension line from right side. Unidirection, if you see, this 15 is in between the dimension line and readable from downward. So for every dimension value you can see and you can understand the difference between aligned and unit. In our technical drawings we have to follow one system, we cannot follow both. The next topic is types or methods of dimensioning. Now there are three types of dimensioning. First is chain, parallel and combined. Now chain means a continuous series of something. When we use chain type of dimensioning, we draw a continuous series of dimension lines. I will show you with an example. Next is parallel type of dimensioning, means when the dimension lines are placed parallel to each other and it will have one common extension line at one end. Now the third type is combined dimensioning. In this we mix both. We are doing dimensioning using chain as well as parallel in the same diagram. Now from these three types you are free to choose any of the dimension method. Now in these diagrams it is very clear, like in chain dimension all the dimensions are coming in a continuous series of dimension lines. In parallel all the dimension lines are parallel to each other having a common extension line. Now in the combined, here you can see we have done the dimensioning using chain method, then we have followed the parallel, and then again we have proceeded with the parallel dimensioning. Now the next topic is dimensioning of circles. So these are the four methods which we use for dimensioning of circles. There is no particular value for which we have to use a particular method. Now you are free to use any, but only the thing which you have to remember is that if the circle is very small and the size, and you are not having sufficient space inside the circle to write the dimension, then we do the dimensioning like first type. We do dimensioning from outside, and when we write the dimensioning of circle we have to write the symbol phi. Phi represents diameter, and we use our leader line. Leader line means when we bend a dimension line. Now this is the second way. We use a linear type of dimensioning to give the size of a circle. Then the third type is there when the space is sufficient to draw the dimension line inside the circle passing from the mid, but we are unable to write the value inside, so we use the leader line and we write the value outside. And this is the fourth one, when the circle is big enough, we are making dimension line and dimension value both inside. The next topic is dimensioning of arcs. These are the very common methods which we use for dimensioning of arcs. You can differentiate them easily. This is the dimensioning from inside and this is the dimension from outside. In arcs, there is leader line having one arrowhead only and it should start exactly from the arc. In arcs, we have to write the radius with the symbol R always. Now, the next topic is dimensioning of angles. There are two methods to give dimension to the angles, either from inside or from outside. Now, this is the way to give dimension from inside. Same angle we can represent from outside also. Now the very important topic we have to discuss, that is the rules of dimensioning, or I am going to discuss the very common mistake which you will do while doing dimensioning. First very important rule is that as far as possible we have to do dimensioning outside the diagram. I am showing it with an example. Now here we have written the value diameter of this 60 inside the object. We must do it like this. Take it out and then do the dimensioning. Second, between the two extension lines there must be one and only one dimension line bearing one dimension. Means, let's say we have to give the dimension of this part and this part. So we should not draw only two extension lines, then we do dimensioning. For one dimension there should be the separate two extension lines. Now the gap between two dimension lines must be as that of gap between dimension line and object line, that is 10 mm. We have discussed in the elements the gap between this object line and dimension line, it should be 10 mm. So if a number of dimensions are coming like in parallel type of dimensions, so the gap between every dimension line, that should be 10 mm. Now the next rule is that all dimensions on a drawing must be shown either in aligned system or unidirectional. We cannot mix both. So this is a wrong diagram. Try to identify what is the mistake here. Yes, we have used both the system, like here 40 we are using the aligned system, and to writing 25 or 10 we are using the unidirectional system. So we cannot mix both the system in single diagram. Either we will go for aligned or unidirectional. Now the next point, we have no need to write the units with the dimension value because the standard units are millimeter, like here. Now in this diagram you can see we have written the mm units with the dimension value. So we must avoid this. We can do this thing if we have drawn a number of diagram on a sheet. At the bottom we can write all dimensions are in mm. Here we have given no units, and this is the good practice of dimensioning. The next point is all dimensions must be given. There should not be any part whose dimension either we cannot calculate or not given. The seventh important rule is there. Dimension lines should not cross each other. Now look here. Here what is happening? This dimension line and this dimension line, they are crossing each other. So this is totally wrong. But the extension line can cross any line. It can cross the dimension line. It can cross the object line. I will show you. If I have to give the dimension to the same object, what is the correct method? So here is the correct method. Extension lines are crossing each other. It is okay. But dimension line should not cross any of the line. Now the eighth point is there. We have to give dimension once only. It should not be repeated in the diagram. So in this, if you can see here we are giving the dimension 0.6, 0.4 and 0.6, and the sum of this is 1.6. So it means we are giving unnecessary dimension here. So we have to avoid that. If we can calculate the dimension, no need to give. Either you can give 1.6 or you can give the 3 values in each part. The next rule is there. Never do dimensioning of the hidden lines. What is the hidden line? I'll discuss in the coming topic. The next rule is we have to write the symbol phi for representing the diameter of a circle, and we have to write r for the radius. Whenever we give dimension to a circle or arc, that leader line should be pointing on the circle, but towards the midpoint of circle or arc. Like this, you can see it is very clearly shown. The next one is always do dimensioning in increasing order towards outward. Means here the smaller dimension was 1.2, 1.2 and this is the bigger one. So better way is that this should come above, or we can say outside, and smaller dimension should come first. This 12th point is not actually the rule. It is just the mistake which students generally do in their drawings. Now you have to remember, when we do dimensioning in aligned system, for linear dimensions this is the correct way, try to remember this, and for angular dimension this is the correct way in aligned system. Thank you.